Going to go over our Week 11 picks.
Yeah, I'm not going to get too much into a review this week. Kirk missed last week, and our guest, DFS prodigy, Cody, we just more of an open discussion than picks per players. So like I said, not much of a review. I can't say that I had a profitable week with the players that we talked about last week in the video, and the players we talked about last week in the video were the only players I had in my player pool. So, yeah, I think it was a good week. If you listened to us and watched our video, I think you had a good week as well. So, with that being said, we're going to get into our quarterback, and Kirk's going to lead us off with that.
All right, so we do have breaking news. About 30 minutes ago, Taysom Hill was announced starter to Nick's hatred towards this pick. But he, at his price, at home, they're going to have so many design plays. He has a rushing floor. Atlanta's one of the worst versus the quarterback. He's only 4,800. They have a projected total right now. It was at 30. It did drop down to 28. It's still dropped down now to I think 27.5 last time I checked. So it should level off probably 27, 26. Still high enough for a quarterback with that small. It's an indoors game, high-paced. Like I said, they're going to have design plays for this guy. They have this whole year. And Schefter has reported that Winston won't be involved at all. So you won't see him come in just for a few plays. They're going to give this guy the lion's share, the entire share this week. And at 4,800, it's too cheap.
Yeah, I think with Taysom Hill, we're going to see more of a college-style offense. I think it's going to be similar to the triple option that they used at Georgia Tech for a while with his skill set. I like Taysom Hill and FanDuel, obviously, because you can plug him into the tight end spot. And he will probably be 80, 90% owned in most tournaments. I'm just giving that extra 10% for the people that just plug in random lineups and just go for the best plays, things like that, and they might not know any better. But, yeah, I think it's going to be like a triple option style offense where there's going to be short intermediate throws. Kamara is going to get a lot of work, a lot of pitches, a lot of slants. Michael Thomas, the slant god, he's gonna do well with his slants, and Kamara might eat as well. It's just, I don't know, man. I can't trust a guy who's in his 30s, who's never started an NFL game, who didn't even do well in college. That's
10 career completions in the NFL.
Yeah, it hurts. But
I'm projected out at 17, and no matter what you do, if you project him for 15 or 14, he's still going to 3x. Yeah. And when you start looking at quarterbacks that are in that 7K range, they have to get over 20. Yeah, so I'm just going to take the guy who's safe to get me at least 15.
I understand the logic behind it. I truly do understand the logic behind it. But it's very rare we see me throwing up at a Kirk pick. Kirk is usually throwing up at my picks. So take that for what it's worth. So with that being said, I'm going to get into my quarterback. My quarterback is Lamar Jackson. We all knew that Lamar would regress from last year, but we didn't understand that the regression was going to be as big as it has been. His rushing totals are down. His passing totals are down. This Ravens offense does not look that great, and I think they're in a great positive regression spot against the Titans defense, who was terrible against the pass, terrible against the run. Mark Ingram is more than likely out, so that leaves a lot of more opportunity for Lamar Jackson to run the ball, because I don't think Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins are trustworthy enough compared to Mark Ingram to run the ball. I like stacking him with Mark Andrews, but because you all know that I like the double stack him with Mark Andrews, then flip-flop between Willie Snead and Hollywood Brown, or just do a skinny stack with Mark Andrews, which I'll talk about later in the video with my tight end selection. So both of these teams are in get-right spots. Both of these teams need a win. We're getting to the point in the season to where every win is valuable and needed to get to the playoffs, and both these teams are looking to make playoff pushes towards the end of the season. So with that being said, if Kirk doesn't have anything to say on Lamar Jackson, I'll let him get into his running back.
Right now, I just want to see it before I believe it with Lamar. Granted, he should be great. But for anyone who drafted him, he's been a disappointment. Anyone who's played him in DFS, it's been a disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And I know when everyone jumps off, it's time to jump on. But it looks reminiscent of RG3.
Yeah, one more thing
I know
about
RG3 was due to an injury, but
Mhm.
it's just running quarterbacks, when they figure you out, they figure you out.
So, in our main league, the person who drafted Lamar Jackson drafted him at 13th overall. They had the 12th pick in the draft. They went Aaron Jones, Lamar Jackson. And you would think picking Aaron Jones, Lamar Jackson, they would be in a playoff push. He's currently 2-8 right now and is going to miss the playoffs. It's insane with how bad Lamar Jackson has been this year. So that's more season long, but like I said, we'll get back to the DFS aspect about it. So Kirk, tell us about your running back.
All right, so my running back, $6,400. I mean, great matchup. Had him last week. Had like a huge pivot. Won me a ton of money. I'm going back. I love the usage. Swift. So in week 10, 73% of the snaps ran. He had ran routes on 25, 34 picks, 76% of carries. It's just we're finally getting to see the usage, the elite guy, and I love running backs against Carolina. Love it. It's been very profitable the last 2 years.
Sorry, I had to go throw up because you're putting a player that's out this week, and I know what you're going to replace him with. And when you say the name, I'm going to get up and leave and throw up again. Kirk, what is up with your picks this week, bro?
So if he's out, next man up against Carolina, $4,000, Adrian Peterson. We're seeing a guy who is going to get 15 to 20 carries, possibly 20 plus at $4,000 against an awful run defense that allows so many touchdowns, with a coach that loves him, that wants to feed this guy, that wants him to move up the yardage total. Peterson has fresh legs the last 3 weeks. He has a purpose running right now. This is going to be his opportunity to keep playing in the NFL. And like I said, a sneaky thing is they're all hurt in Detroit. Everyone's hurt. So Stafford's hurt, less passes for Stafford. Galladay's hurt, might not play. Jones is banged up, let's get him less work. Hawkinson last year played banged up and was awful last year. He had one great game and was awful last year because he played hurt. Now he's playing hurt last week. Awful. He's probably going to be bad this week. Wouldn't play him. He's got a great price tag in DraftKings though, so I see why some people would. I'm going to avoid it just because of that information. But like I said, this defense that they're going to play against in Carolina is not only bad, but they're going to be on the field a lot because Teddy Bridgewater is doubtful to play. So if he doesn't play, it's going to be a lot of 3 and outs, a lot of short fields. So I see the chance for Detroit to get a lead and just pound it. Even if it's 4 yards a carry, 3 yards a carry, it doesn't matter when you get that many and have goal line opportunity. And they just don't like Carry on. They just dislike him a lot. So I believe in this coaching staff is going to give him the opportunity, and just Taysom Hill plus Peterson lets you do anything you want with your lineup.
I'm queasy. So another play that I understand the logic behind it, but something that I'm personally not willing to get behind.
We just saw what Rojo did against them. He went off.
He had a carry of 98 yards for a touchdown. He got over half of his work on one play. I understand if Adrian Peterson did that on one play, it would pay off his value. But he's old. He is, I mean, I get he's a freak of a human with his athletic ability, how quick he is able to come back from injuries and everything like that. But I don't know, man. The thought of playing Adrian Peterson in 2020 just hurts me. I mean, I might have a few lineups with him if I need to pay up for someone else. And the way I'm constructing my lineups right now, it seems that I am going to have to pay down for someone. And if Swift is out, I could very well see myself playing Adrian Peterson. But man,
With Swift, he's averaging 8 DK points. 8. So he's averaging 2x.
So I'm going to get –
Swift, what's it going to do against the worst run, one of the worst run Ds? That is going to be tired without a quarterback on a team that's all their weapons are banged up. I love it. Peterson.
I'm going to get into my running back to bring us into some better spirits, some will say. So I'm going to Adrian Peterson's first team in the NFL. Dalvin Cook is my running back this week. What can I say about it? He has a perfect matchup for any fantasy player. A top 5 running back in football, the ultimate matchup. Bears held him to 96 yards last week. As I said in our Survivor pick video, that 96 yards for most players is a fantastic day. 96 yards for Dalvin Cook is a bad day. And I think he could double that. I think he could break 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's the type of player Dalvin Cook is. Kirk mentioned in the Survivor pick video, he's averaging 3 yards before contact, which is a lot. And he's one of those players that sometimes looks for contact. I could see him breaking through the offensive and defensive line. If he breaks past a linebacker, none of those corners or safeties are bringing him down. I expect to see a few long runs from Dalvin Cook this week. So, Kirk, what do you got to say about him?
He's one of those running backs that, as the game goes longer, he gets stronger. Mm-hmm. His elusiveness is insane this year. And he's already had a 50-point game, a 40-point game. He's hot right now. He's one of the running backs that can also break your spirits on the defense. That when they get up 14 points in the fourth quarter and they hand the ball to him, that the defense gives up and then bam, 80-yard touchdown run. That we've seen that. Yeah. It's Derrick Henry-esque type deal where you just keep getting hit with the same thing over and over and you just give up. And I could see Dallas doing that if they get down. Just the demeanor on that team isn't good right now. And I think Cook's going to have a ridiculous day.
Yeah, there's very few players that have slate-breaking ability. Dalvin Cook, Julio Jones, Devontae Adams, Will Fuller had a game like that last year. Aaron Jones. There's very few players. Tyler Lockett can break a slate. I think there's 10 solid players in the NFL right now that have the ability to break a slate on DraftKings. And
he's going to have about 30 touches, which is insane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, Dalvin Cook, I would lock him in to almost every single lineup you have. There's no way I don't. Another running back I like before we get on to our wide receivers is Derrick Henry. Kirk doesn't like him, but I think he's a perfect bring back if you are doing a Lamar stack like I am doing. So, Kirk, tell me about your wide receiver.
All right, so my wide receiver is getting elite target share right now, 27%. Over the past 3 games, 23 catches, 31 targets, and even threw a touchdown. So he's involved everywhere. 10 targets, 14 targets, 7 targets against an awful secondary, bottom 3 in the league. Everything makes sense, right? And then he's 4,700. Team total of over 25 points a game. Jacoby Myers looks like a great pick. Very popular pick. There are going to be so many wide receivers that will be picked up. He just fits into builds because he's that real. Him and Cooks are really the only guys around that 5,000 range that I really like, that I really trust. There are a lot of guys in the upper 5s, but being 4,900 just allows you to do so much, especially when you pick Peterson and Hill. He plays 45% out wide. He plays 45. Plays roughly about 50% in the slot. So they're literally putting them everywhere. This secondary allowed Chark to have 31 points. Devontae Adams scored 47. A.J. Brown scored about 23, 24. Mm-hmm. It's just with that target share at that price and that team total, Cam finds one guy we've seen in the past and just unloads.
Yeah, I like Jacoby Myers. He's a great pay-down spot. Real quick, I just got some breaking news through one of the apps I use. This is fairly obvious, but Joe Mixon is out this weekend. Most of us were predicting it. So Gio Bernard is another running backs in play at 5,500 against a really bad defense. So I just want to let everyone know about that before we get on to my wide receiver, which is Terry McLaurin. Great matchup, only real target on the team. Cincinnati's defense is bad. Alex Smith is going to be looking at him a lot. So I think Terry McLaurin can eat, and that's practically it. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really have a wide receiver I wanted to pick until I was talking to Kirk, and Kirk was running through some of the guys he liked, and I was like, I'll do Terry McLaurin. I would be honest, I was a little bit lazy this week. I had finals for school, so I wasn't able to look at wide receivers too much, and this is just a last-minute play, so I don't have much information.
He's getting 8 to 10 targets a game, and almost all of those are catches. Alex Smith really trusts this guy. You don't see the crazy deep play as much, but you're seeing a lot of 15, 20 yard routes, which are great. And with Alex Smith, this offense is actually moving. It's weird to see them play as many snaps as they did. Alex Smith threw the ball over 50 times, and both running backs were used incredible. It's crazy to see this awful, slow Washington team play good. But I'm loving it. He's sub 7K, so that's great price. I think DK really messed that up. And worst case scenario, you get 17 points. Best case scenario, you get close to 30. I like it.
Yeah. The sad part is with them, I think they're only 2 or 3 wins. They could still win the NFC East.
Quick thing on Gio. So far, he had 3 starts. 2 of them went over 20 points. He's only 5,500, so that's a great value. Worst case scenario, you're thinking maybe 10. And the other start that he didn't get 20 or more was against the Steelers, which is one of the best run Ds that we've seen in a long time.
Right.
Other thing running backs I would monitor if Alvin Kamara is out, that Latavius Murray is 5,900. He becomes an auto lock. We saw what he could do last year. So you start the lineup with